So hello there. We're going to demonstrate how to work with a LT plotted file and download it onto the PlotterMaster Pro software. And as you can see, we've got the file that was emailed in right here, and we're going to come down here. We're going to actually download it. You can see I've already got it loaded in over here. And we're going to actually open up the plotter software. And some of this should already be familiar to you with regards to training. The software is going to load, and of course always remember that we have to be working in inches and not metrics, so always stay with your inches. So close this out. There's several different ways of moving a file to your new screen. And refresh our memory here. We can get a screen by clicking on this new document, going up here to the file, going to new document, and you can see we keep adding to the tabs that we have here. Now, there's several ways of getting these files right onto your work surface here. We can just grab it right out of a particular folder, just drag it right over here onto the desktop like this. Or if you want, you can go up to the file, go up to import, and you could actually go into, again, we're in the desktop here. These are the files that are actually in this particular group that we're working with. And I can go in here, I can grab it this way. Now, when you go in through import, if you look here, our name and everything is already filled in for us because it's already been labeled. The important part to remember, and this is where people will get themselves stumped occasionally, is it says all files. Now, the best way to be sure is to go up here and grab the AutoCAD file, the DXF file. That way it's only going to grab what those jobs are. And here we see it again. Open. And as before, there's the job again. So that's two of the easiest ways. And you can grab this also if I didn't have this open here. If I wanted to go one more time, I could go over here to the actual file itself from the email. So if you guys are going to be emailing your jobs in from the field, right from the templater, you can go right into the email, download it, and grab it, and drag it onto the desktop. And there it is again. So that's three basic ways you can download the file onto your desktop to begin cutting. So what we would do with this now is, the next step is I would actually like to save this to a file. So we go up to File, Save As, and since we're working with a desktop file, Plotted Jobs. Open. And we want to name this 232. Oops. And save it. So now it's actually named. And we can see we've still got the file up here. At this stage, if you wanted to, we could just save changes and get rid of these. So we actually have our file here ready to go. We can start cutting it. So that's another way of getting all the files from your email, from a jump drive, from a desktop to your ability to start cutting the job on the plotter. So with the importing of the files completed, what we'd also like to stress is the importance of saving your files. Getting in the habit of saving your files and keeping your files organized all in the same folder. Now that has to do with your LT files as well as your CAD files, for those that use CAD besides our LT software, and your plotting files. Everything that has to do with a job should all be centrally located somewhere, either on a jump drive, on your desktop, within the confines of your computer, but you need to be getting in the habit of doing that. All that's going to do is just keep you guys out of trouble and keep you organized when it comes to situations, because nothing worse than trying to jump all over the place to try and figure out where your paperwork is at. If you could just very easily go up to File, Save As, look for it. In this case, we'll keep our stuff on our desktop, and we've got plotted work. So everything that we do as a day-to-day basis is under plotted files, and you can see we've got them named. In this case, we're looking for this particular file. Open it, and we know that the name of the file we're going to be saving, in this case, is 232. We've done this before, and there we go, and it's going to save it into this particular file. It already exists, so we're going to go ahead and replace it, and there's our file. So what this is going to do is it's going to give you the ability to keep track of what you've got on a regular basis. These are just some of the small little details that can really make a big difference. Everybody always gets under a crunch, and then they have to scramble to try and figure out where it's at. Is it on this jump drive? Is it on my desktop? Is it in some other folder within the computer? So just try and get in the habit of doing that. Is all we're trying to push you in that direction. So here we've got the job ready to go. So that's it. One of the things that's a good habit to get in the process of doing is saving a file. So real simple, this is the way we get that done. So we've got a file that's in one of our customers' folders, and we drag it over to the desktop, drop it on our page. And for those of you that don't remember, what we want to do to get a fresh page is go up here to either New Document or go up to File and look for New Document, and there's our next document. So grab this LT file, bring it over the page, everything looks good, drop it on the page, and voila, there it is. So what we would do now is we would come up here to File, just like in most of your Microsoft programs, Save As. And because this is a folder that's on our desktop in our plotted jobs, you can scroll down this way and look for the customer. Or if you want, you could actually double click it and let it fill the folder over here. And we look for that particular customer. Open. The job would be then named 128. And if you notice, if the computer has not seen this before, you would continue to type. If it has recognized this folder before, it'll fill it for you automatically. So just go ahead and click it, and See, it recognizes that it's already there. Do we want to replace it? Yes. And now we have our named folder. Now, one of the other nice things that we need to touch on here is that if we were going to, say we were going to slice this job right here, this portion, I should say, of this job, we want to get our arms around it like this. Go up to slice. And if you look, it's already got the name in here because we saved it. So we just saved ourselves a step in having to load that in there. We'll let this do its thing. Now, this box is really important. If this was not checked, you see how it went from dark to gray? Now, if we have any finger joints on the file here, we won't know that it's this job unless, we've actually identified it and handed it off right to the Sawyer after you get done plotting it out. However, if we click it, it goes dark, and now we're ready to move forward. So naming your file and saving your file is very important for us to keep other aspects of the job straight and narrow and being correct. So we go to Auto, and if you look real close, let's see if I can get this down here. You can see that this is our first cut and there's our identifier for this particular job. So that's a nice thing to keep your job straight and keep things rolling on the shop floor. But you want to make sure that this is identified. Otherwise, you're going to have a problem with it. So that's basically the simplest way of saving a job and then identifying your seams. And it helps keep you guys out of trouble when it comes to keeping track of your pieces.